This an all-out blitz, real hard hits, them other podcast trash, we gon' make them all quit. We cover all the topics with intelligence and logic. I know you wanna score, but ID gon' stop it. We from Texas, so that mean that we Texans. Breaking down the X's and O's, our profession. No complaining, just training, you see the progression. They had a Pro Bowl for talk shows, we get selected. We gon' celebrate every win like a birthday. Ray J with the news, first with all the updates. Spin move on the competition, yeah, we juking them. You not really in touch if you not tuning in. This is Crenshaw, Briggs, and VT. We want the touchdown, we not trying to go for 3. And it's best if you get up out the street, cause them bulls out the pen and they bout to stampede.
Yo, welcome to the Texans Fan Battle Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Briggs. As always, we got a Houston sports legend in the building. But before we introduce him, let me introduce you, my amazing trio. First off, our little but big brother, Mr. VT.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's going on?
And he's been here since day one with me, since my A1, since day one. We got Mr. Crenshaw.
What's up, everybody? We're 2-2.
And guys, like I said, we got a Houston legend in the sports world. If you watch Fox 26 in the morning, you know this man very well, and he's a college analyst for Rice. We got Mr. Nate, the legend, Griffin.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing, man? Excited to be on with you. Thanks for the invitation.
Hey, thank you for coming on. When I told everybody we got Nate Griffin, they're like, oh, man, this is going to be fantastic. So, thanks again for coming on.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Well, let's kick off with a little bit of NFL news before we jump in to the Texans while we're here. Jonathan Taylor, he is designated to return, participated through a little walkthrough, nothing real, hard. Nate, I'll start with you. As Texans fans, should we be concerned about the Colts getting Jonathan Taylor on the field?
I tell you what, maybe. I mean, this is a guy, who can run the football. I mean, so anytime you see him coming back into the fold, they're thinking about it. And they need a run game badly. They have to protect their young quarterback. That's what's really important right now. But I think when you see a guy like that coming back into the fold, yeah, you have to be a little concerned. Got to step it up on defense.
So you do think he makes the comeback and they made their relationship a lot better, or is this just hearsay?
Well, first of all, I'm a little disappointed in the fact that the NFL, and not necessarily the NFL, the game itself, it's not what it at one time was. Running backs do not have the same value that they did at one time. So they don't get paid like, a prime running back really should get paid. This is a guy who last year was simply fantastic, and he really should be paid as a prime running back. We're seeing this all over the league. I do believe, though, he's going to play. If he comes back and he plays like he should play, he's going to play hard and earn the best contract that he can make in the NFL. So, again, disappointed, but I think he'll still be able to make out with some pretty good money.
Oh, all right. I like it. VT, what about you?
Yeah, so, I mean, I think that if he actually plays, it's obviously a threat. What we're hearing weird things, right? We're hearing things from different sides. So on one side, we're hearing from Shane Steichen that he's excited to play with his teammates. And on the other side, we're hearing that he hasn't retracted his trade request. So we don't actually know what's going on. If he practices a couple of days in a row, then I would say, yeah, he's coming back and he's playing for the Colts. Right now, I don't know what his plans are. I don't know if his plan is to play for the Colts a little bit and then get traded in a few weeks. I don't know. As far as how it affects us, we don't have to play them for a while, so it's not going to affect us for a while. And God knows if he's going to be there by the time that we play them.
Okay. Crenshaw?
Yeah, like VT say, we don't play them to the last game of the season. And I hope he don't come back because I got Moss on my fantasy. So
Same.
Short and sweet right there.
Let me add this. No running back wants to sit out an entire year.
Right.
No running back wants to do that. That's not good for the health of that running back. That's not good for his motor skills. He needs to be playing. Yeah. So I understand he wants to get paid, but no running back should. And if they do play us, you better hope that by that time he hasn't got any kind of rhythm going. Because once he gets that rhythm going, he's a dangerous kind of back.
Oh yeah, especially in the catching game, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, guys, let's jump to why we're here. The hottest team in football right now, the Texans. So this whole storyline for the Texans all year so far has been injuries. You know, we lost Tunzel. We've been losing Tunzel the last 3 games. We lost Howard. We lost Scruggs. We're on our 900th offensive lineman, as it seems. But today we got some good news. Howard and Tunzel started playing or practicing. Jones is out there. Nate, are the signs looking good for us injury-wise? Are we starting to finally get to see this line that we thought we would?
What was the final score of that Texans-Pittsburgh game?
36.
I think that kind of tells you what the Texans can do, even with an offensive line that is not an A1 offensive line. Now you're going to get back 2 of your major pieces that you need, and we know these guys have great chemistry along the offensive line. I think the guys who played last week in front of C.J. Stroud, I think they understood what the assignment was: protect the quarterback. And Dameon Pierce said that a couple of days ago. I want to say Monday. He said that if we can keep this guy protected, he can do a lot of great things. And I'm paraphrasing, but we know that's what he meant. So I think anytime you can have any type of an offensive line, you have a quarterback like that, it doesn't really matter what kind of an offensive line you put in front of them. And let me preface that by saying that guys will play 1, 2, or 3 games and play them well and protect their quarterback when they know they have a top-rate quarterback. And certainly what we're seeing from C.J. Stroud is that he is a top-rate quarterback. And I'll tell you something else. I kind of prefaced this before we actually started the show. I said to you I was going to share something with you that I kind of thought at the very beginning of the season, but I think I have been proven wrong. I didn't initially think that he was as athletic as Deshaun Watson. But after watching him, I've kind of changed my opinion about that, because once he rolls out of the pocket, he's dangerous. In the pocket, he's a really, really good passer. But once he rolls out of the pocket, he can really see his receivers down the field. You see he keeps his eyes up, and he's looking down the field to complete a pass. And he and Nico Collins, he and Tank Dell, he and Robert Woods, those guys have really established a rapport and a chemistry. And, man, it is lovely to watch the maturation process of this young quarterback, even with an offensive line that's not that good. Now, just think once he gets that really good offensive line, just how good he's going to be. So I am really pumped to see all of this kind of come to fruition.
Same. So right now what the offense look like, it's Tunzel at left tackle, Howard at left guard, Patterson at center, Mason right guard, and Fant at right tackle. Before I move on to BT and Crenshaw, do you think that's the recipe for success this Sunday against the Falcons?
I do. I don't think the Falcons are the same kind of defensive team as the Pittsburgh Steelers, to be quite honest with you. And I'm going to tell you something else. Yeah. Or the Jaguars. I'm going to tell you something else. Do you know that the Texans have the 4th amount of passing yards in the league so far?
Absolutely.
1,125 passing yards. They are the 4th ranked passing offense in the league behind the Dolphins, Rams, and the Vikings. That says a lot. And you're talking about an offensive line that has suffered injuries with key offensive linemen. So, yeah, I think they certainly have a chance against this Falcons team that has a quarterback that right now is not playing at his best.
He hasn't even hit his prime yet. So, I mean, just imagine 3 or 4 years down the road, C.J. Stroud might be something fantastic to watch. VT, I know you've been channeling your inner Matt this week about scheming fixes everything. So, what's your take on all this?
Well, not only were you right about scheming fixes everything, but you were right about George Fant. He's playing phenomenally well, better than he has played in the past. He's holding his own, and I think that's why I think some people don't realize how well he's playing, and that's why people on social media are saying, why wouldn't you just put Titus back at right tackle? It's because Fant is holding his own. He's not letting up pressures. He's not really giving up sacks. And if you if you compare him and Titus Howard in the run blocking game, Titus Howard ain't no star when it comes to run blocking. His claim to fame is in pass protection. So you're not missing anything by not putting Titus out there. Honestly, with George Fant. Now, is Titus a better right tackle? Yes, but how much are you losing? It's the degradation is honestly marginal. At left guard, though, because we lost Kendon Green, Titus Howard is a better left guard than Dieter. Right now, Dieter's serviceable. Titus Howard is excellent. So I think the makeup right now that they have is a recipe for success. So overall, I think we're good. I think that's going to change again once Scruggs comes back. Once Scruggs comes back, now it's going to be a decision on, do you keep Patterson at center? Do you put Scruggs at center? Move Titus Howard back to right tackle, move Scruggs at left guard, and then you put Fant on the bench. So I think that right now for this game, this is the right line. Once Scruggs comes back, they're going to revisit that.
Okay. Crenshaw, what's your take? We know you're a Tunsil hater, so,
Yeah, I think this is the right line, and I think Juice need to earn his spot back. I don't think you should just put him on the offensive line, until these guys show that they can't, make their blocks, they can't do this, can't do that, leave it like how it is. Now, what if, Thompson come back and Howard come back and they start giving up sacks? What are we going to do then?
Well, let me just say this. There is going to be a disruption in the quality of the O-line because you can't just snap your fingers and plug and play an O-line. So don't expect that we shouldn't see some degradation of quality in the O-line performance because these guys are just coming back in. So if they give it something their first week, it is what it is because they have to get back into the groove. O-line is one of the position groups where chemistry and the bond that you have between all five guys is critically important. So we might not see the best O-line that we've seen in the past 2 weeks. I know that sounds crazy because we have elite players here, right? With Tunsil and Titus Howard. So expect that we'll see some issues, but that's 1 week. Now, if we see that, 3-4 weeks, then you got a cause for concern. But if we see it in 1 week, it's okay. It's really honestly on schedule to happen that way.
Well, like the first 2 weeks, we were 11 sacks. We're predicted to give up with 119 sacks throughout the whole season. Everybody was hitting the panic button, and I was still saying, scheming works, guys. Scheming works, and so yeah, BT's right. You're gonna have to give it a couple weeks or so. You might get a sack or two, but you never know.
Well, if I might jump in there, first of all, if you want to look at a team that has problems, look at the New York Giants. That's a team right now that has problems along the offensive line. And I think what we need to make sure we're doing is giving praise to Bobby Slowick. Yes. I think he really understands what he has in terms of talent, what he has in terms of the offensive line, what he has in the backfield. Dameon Pierce runs hard. And I know that I said this one morning on the show, blasphemy, for me to say that Dameon Pierce runs as hard as Earl Campbell. But I want to tell you this, he is a smaller version of Earl Campbell in the way that he runs the football. Earl Campbell ran over people. Dameon Pierce doesn't necessarily do that. He's not as big of a back. I can't really compare him to Earl Campbell. Earl Campbell, Heisman Trophy winner, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, all that. But I will say this, that Dameon Pierce as a running back does help. You always have to have a good blocking tight end. That helps along the offensive line as well. But that offensive line that they have right now and the game planning and scheming that Bobby Slowick is doing for his quarterback, I think he understands what he has with C.J. Stroud. You really have to give him a lot of credit in what they've been able to do with the makeshift offensive line guys.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing chess for sure while the other guys are playing checkers. Right. I mean, when you go up against one of the elite pass rushers and T.J. Watt, and you pretty much make him obsolete, you're doing with the offensive line you got. You're doing a pretty good job as an offensive coordinator. Well, after this beatdown that we gave to the Steelers, everybody has been putting us on notice. Sunday Night Football has ranked us number 5. The NFL Twitter account, Power Rankings, number 15. Nate, if you had to power rank this, where would you put us? Would you put us top 10, top 15? Do you crack those lists? Where would you put us if you had a power rank us?
2-2. When you didn't think that you would be this good this quickly with a rookie quarterback, I would have to say, and I'm not going to argue with the rankings. If it's a top 10, top 15, I'm good with that. Probably somewhere between 10 and 15. I want to see a little bit more before we jump the gun. I would love to say, between 10 and 15. I think that's a more reasonable expectation for right now. I think if you go higher, now you're comparing yourself to the San Francisco 49ers, the Miami Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills of the world. You kind of have to, I think, slow your roll. Let's see what happens again on the road. Right now, Texas have won a game on the road very impressively, I might add. And so let's go into Atlanta and beat Desmond Ridder and the Falcons. Come on back. And then let's reevaluate. But right now, I think top 15, you're in pretty good shape.
All right, Crenshaw.
Yeah, I say about 12, and the reason why I say 12 because of the margin of victory we won the last two games, and that plays a key factor, just like college football. And the last time we was 12, maybe it was 2018, 2019 in that area. So I'm excited that we get national love the positive way because we was getting the negative way the past couple of years. So I say 12, and like Nate say, we go in and beat Atlanta. Oh, they really gonna be on notice then.
Right.
BT, anything there?
Yeah, I think that the rankings between 10 to 15, as Nate said, is right on the money. Where exactly would I place us? I mean, that's kind of debatable because we really didn't show up on the Colts game. The Colts game really had me confused and that's why I said, like, I don't think we had a shot at winning the Jags games because what you saw out of that Colts game, in all reality, that was pathetic. What you saw out of the Jags game and particularly the Pittsburgh game was fantastic. It was obscenely amazing. It was way better than I ever expected. So the disparity between what you saw in the Colts game and what you saw in the Pittsburgh game is night and day. And so I think I understand why Nate wants to say that we need to slow our roll a little bit. But I got to say, I haven't felt this good about the team in so long that it's almost impossible for me to slow the roll. I think our offense is so high powered right now, and that we definitely, in my opinion, found the best quarterback of the draft. That it's impossible to say that we shouldn't go elsewhere. I know we're going to talk about expectations in a minute, but my expectations, and as well as other Texans fans, is that we are going to start beating these teams as opposed to before it's like, I don't know, 50-50 shot or, oh, I don't think we have a shot. My expectation is we are beating these teams now. So expectations are changing. I think the rankings does follow that. Another thing to keep in mind is our strength of schedule is on our side. We are not facing teams that are as hard. We thought that the Bengals were going to be a powerhouse, but because of Burrow's injury, they're nothing right now. T. Higgins is also injured with the rib injury. So so you got injuries that are deflating there. You got Deshaun Watson, who we also play, that was supposed to be able to play with the shoulder injury, and he said, "Nah, I don't want to play." Right? The doctor said you can go, and he said, "Nah." We just tore up Kenny Pickett. Pause. So and the only AFC North team was the Ravens, and that was the very first game that we played of the year. And the AFC North is supposed to be a very, very tough, right? So we play the Jets. What do the Jets look like? The Jets don't have Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson looks like a fool. So the thing is, our strength of schedule is on our side, and that's why I think that plays up in our ranking, not just because of what we see in the past two games, but if you look in the future, the teams that we're going up against. It's not like we're going up against the 49ers, right? It's not like we're going against the Miami Dolphins. We aren't playing those caliber teams right now, so I think the rankings actually favor us closer to 10 than further away.
Okay.
Yeah, because we do have the easiest schedule in the AFC. So basically, we could low-key be the Giants of last year, playing a favorable schedule, sneak into the playoffs, maybe get a win or so. So that's a very good point, VT.
Just hopefully we don't become the Giants of this year next year.
Yeah. You gotta be a little careful. Yeah. When you have a rookie coach, rookie quarterback, you're gonna have some setbacks that maybe you weren't looking forward to. Right. And here's the other thing that you also have to consider. When you have a rookie quarterback, there's some things that other teams don't know about you. VT, as you pointed out, the first game you saw the way they played against the Indianapolis Colts and Anthony Richardson, that's not what you exactly expected, right? So what the Houston Texans were able to do is make adjustments. You saw a different team after they played Baltimore. You will start to see other teams. You will start to see other teams make adjustments against the Houston Texans, and with CJ Stroud, they will begin to understand what they need to do to play against the Houston Texans. Now, the advantage that the Houston Texans have is that they have a really, really good defense. Strength of schedule, you're absolutely right. It's not as strong as we thought it might be from the very beginning of the season. And no one expected CJ Stroud to mature as quickly as he has. But I still think there is a little cause for pause because you're talking about a 17-game schedule.
Yep.
And lots of things happen in 17 games. I have to see a little bit more before I jump and say, oh, yeah, we're right there behind the San Francisco 49ers, those top teams in the league. When they actually do it, then I will be a little bit more satisfied. But I think the other thing we have to look at is the run game. CJ Stroud's not going to be able to do what he's doing the entire season. I don't think. When you look at the numbers, and I keep talking about CJ, when you look at the numbers against Pittsburgh, 306, 280 against Jacksonville, 384 against Indianapolis in a loss. And then you had Baltimore, 242 yards. So, while it may feel good and it looks good, I'm pulling it back just a tad because I don't want to be disappointed at the end of the season thinking, man, maybe they could have won 12 games when they only won 9 or 10. So I want to be a little careful. 9 or 10, when a lot of people expected 6 or 7, I'm a little bit better than 6 now. I will say that. I'm better than 6 wins because I said I predicted 6. I'm a little bit better than 6. I think I had John McClain on the show with me when we first started. He was thinking about 6 or 7. I'm thinking more like 9.
Okay.
Okay. I'm still at 6 or 7 just because, like you, I don't want to get my hopes up and then if we fall on our face, I'm not disappointed. So, we keep talking about CJ Stroud. His odds for Rookie of the Year for offense has went up through the roof. He's getting noticed. He'll be on the Pat McAfee show tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern time. Shout out to Pat McAfee. Nate, I know Bijan over there in Atlanta is playing like a football god, but is there a high chance that we see an offensive rookie finally in the city of Houston?
I think so. You got a shot. The one thing that I like about CJ is he's not a guy you can shake very easy. He doesn't get nervous. He's good in front of the camera, and I'm pointing these things out because we've seen his play on the field. What he does on the field kind of projects off the field. He's the same guy off the field, very cool, calm, collected in front of the media. I love that. The bright lights don't bother him. He came from bright lights, being in Ohio State. That's the great thing about getting a big time talent like that out of a big time school. Those are things that you expect. This is what you expect to see. This is why he's going to go on the Pat McAfee show and knock it out of the park. And I think he's got a shot to win Rookie of the Year if he keeps matriculating, as Hank Stram says, matriculating down the field. If he keeps playing like he's playing right now, he's certainly got a shot. Texans keep winning. I just want to see how the Texans are going to respond with CJ Stroud playing the way he's playing right now. I do think that the run game has to get a little bit better. I like to see that. I like to see the run game kind of take over a game or two because I just don't believe in a 17-game season that you can win strictly with a passing game. You have to have a good mix. As Bill O'Brien, who's no longer with us, said, complementary football is the way to win games. He's right. You got to have a great special team. You got to have a great offensive team. You got to have a great defensive team. Texans have a great defensive team. It's going to help CJ Stroud in terms of being able to become Rookie of the Year. So, yeah, I think he has a shot at becoming Rookie of the Year, no doubt about it, if he continues to play the way he's playing.
All right. BT?
I think he has a really good shot because if you look at the pace and look at our predictions, or at least my prediction, I had him going for 3,400 yards and right around like 22 TDs. And at his pace right now, he's going over 5,000. So if he continues at this pace, then I think that he has a very good shot of winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. The reason why I think that Bijan, who's second right now, his odds may go a little less and we're going to talk about this more when we go into the game preview. But Arthur Smith does not run him as much as he should. So even though Bijan is an incredibly good talent, he's not being used properly. So I think that the disparity there, where we're actually overusing CJ Stroud and the Falcons are underusing Bijan Robinson, actually puts it in CJ Stroud's favor.
I love it. Crenshaw.
Well, first of all, he's a quarterback, so he's already in favor already.
Right.
But to me, the most impressive rookie is the guy in with the Rams. I can't pronounce his name. Yeah,
Nakua.
Yeah, out of BYU, I think that's been the most impressive rookie because nobody knew who this guy was.
Fifth rounder, bro.
Yeah, fifth rounder, man. He's got 500 yards. He's killing right now. I mean, he's killing. But it's a quarterback-driven league, and right now CJ's face is everywhere. So right now his odds, Texas win 6 games, he's gonna win it because I think Justin Herbert didn't he win 6 games? He won Rookie of the Year. His first year, he won 6 games.
I think so.
Yeah, 7 games, won Rookie of the Year. So that's all CJ got to do is win 6 games. He got it locked up.
I mean, we can see it, and if we do win 9 to 10 games, which I don't think we will, because I'm not trying. I'm pumping my brakes. We can see D'Amico Ryans and the CJ Stroud winning a couple awards. So hopefully it happens. But like I said, I'm not shouting it out yet, like most Texans fans, because I don't want to get heartbroken like I've had the past couple of years.
Listen, what's the worst going to happen? We get disappointed. I mean, I'm disappointed. I've been disappointed every year for the last few years.
You know why? I'm a baseball fan.
I hear you.
I got stipulations. Like, look, man, I don't speak it. If there's a no hitter going, you don't talk about the no hitter.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. So you
talk
about you got playoff talk going on. You don't talk about playoffs.
That's right. That's very, very true. Playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm back here just like, just.
But I will say this. I mean, we didn't expect the Texans to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? We expected the Steelers to come in and play better. But the defense, they dominated. All of a sudden, you had a young quarterback connecting it with his receivers. I mean, you can't – it doesn't get any better than that. You had excellent play calling. The play calling was phenomenal. And again, I credit Bobby Slowick for doing that. So those are the kind of things you kind of look at, and you say, they might be a little bit better. Now you expect them to go into Atlanta and beat the Falcons, right? I mean, they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers here. They won a game on the road. They beat Jacksonville. That's kind of history driven right there, though. History says the Texans should beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. Now you're talking about going into Atlanta and knocking off the Falcons, and it's expected after they beat the Steelers. So the way they did, 30-6. So the way they did it, and Chris Boswell, by the way, comes from Rice. So just in case y'all were wondering, but anyway, and you probably weren't wondering, but anyway, that's how they got their 6 points. But anyway, bottom line is you expect the Texans to beat the Falcons in Atlanta. And that's something that we probably have not been able to do in a long time. Go on the road and be expected to win a game? Come on, man.
Well, we talk about the Steelers versus the Texans, that 30-6 beatdown. We kind of gave our recap on Sunday. So, Nate, I'll let you. What was your takeaway from that game? I know you kind of hint here and there, but what was your true thoughts about that game?
I love the way the defense dominated. Defense just does not get enough credit for what they do. And I love Will Anderson Jr. I think he is a phenomenal player. Jonathan Grenard was great. I mean, a lot of guys were so good on that defensive line. They kept pressure on Kenny Pickett all of the game long until he actually got hurt, and then he had to be taken out of the game. They did a nice job defending the passing game, did a nice job defending the run game. Just did a nice job overall. And I think that what they're looking to do now is try to turn teams over. They need to turn teams over a little bit more. You see what happens when you get turnovers. Good things happen when you turn teams over. So I want to give the defense a lot of credit and D'Amico Ryans with that scheme that he's got going. Now, offensively, we saw, again, we can talk about C.J. Stroud all we want. We also saw Nico Collins. He was really, really good, man. And he came to play for his quarterback. Now, the other thing that we also have to make sure we recognize, Dalton Schultz. It's finally good to see Dalton Schultz getting in the game and being effective. I mean, making some plays down the field. Now you can throw the ball to your tight end. You can throw the ball to your wide receivers. You can throw the ball to your running backs coming out of the backfield. Just got to get that run game going. And once you get that going, you're going to be in really, really good shape. But my takeaway is we have a passing game, got a good defense. Want to see special teams do a little bit more to get really, really good field position. All three phases of the game, you got them going.
Yeah, and I like how you mentioned Dalton Schultz. I don't think he gets enough credit. I don't think none of the tight ends get enough credit. Brevin Jordan, BT's, man, I'm not going to kill his name. What's his name, BT? Your tight end?
I call him Quentin Terry. I don't even pronounce it properly. I call him TQ, but you could also call him Pulp Fiction. Quentin Tarantino. He's got a lot of nicknames.
They've been killing it on the blocking in the passing situations, and the receivers, bro, I don't think they get enough credit too, because if you go back and watch the all 22s, they are putting some blocks. I forget who it was, but somebody blocked TJ Watt. I'm like, whoa, I got rewind.
Mechie blocked TJ Watt.
Yeah. It's like, dang, all right, man, go ahead, get you some. So I think this whole team is stepping up. I've been saying it since Miko got here, and I'm going to keep saying it. He talks about getting 1% better, and it's showing on the field that this team is getting 1% better each and every day, and hopefully it's a recipe for success.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going to play in this offense as a wide receiver, you have to be able to block. And I think that you see that across the NFL. Most teams want their wide receivers to be able to block. And if you look at these wide receivers, John Mechie isn't a small guy. I mean, he's got good size. Nico Collins is not a small guy. He's a big guy who's able to block. The only small guy you really have to worry about is Tank Dell. You know, you don't want him getting hurt trying to you don't want him getting hurt trying to block linebacker. But his job, if he's not in the pass play, his job is to block downfield. And so these receivers have to be able to block. That's a good thing to see, especially when you got a guy running out of the backfield like Dameon Pierce.
Oh, most definitely. Speaking of Dameon Pierce, I know BT has something to say in a little video to show. So BT, go ahead and go.
So I'm going to hope this works right. I tried it earlier and it did. So if it doesn't, I apologize. But the first thing is, first I have to give a little shout out to Moderate Texan. I'm part of the film study group that him and EXO do. And if you haven't already, he puts on a show on YouTube at 7 p.m. at the Moderate. It's called the Moderate Texan YouTube channel. Go ahead and check that out. And one of the things that we've been watching at the All 22 is Dameon Pierce. And here's a little video. So what you're going to see here is, all right, so look at Dameon Pierce right here. Right now, he's got a lot of green in front of him. What does he do? He runs into contact. Like if you're looking right here, what does he have in front of him? Can anyone see what he has in front of him?
Yeah, he got green, but
green.
Dalton should have picked up a block. He didn't block anybody right there, though.
No. Look at Dalton. Dalton doesn't need to because 39's right there. His job is to get off at 39. And the thing is, Dameon Pierce shouldn't have been to the left. He should have ran straight. The problem right there is that Dameon Pierce literally ran into contact when he could have ran straight.
Run that back. Run that back. Can you run that back?
Yeah.
Run that back for me. Okay, so run the play, and I want you to slow it down when you get to Dalton Schultz. Okay, so there's the pass. Now watch this. Stop it. Wait. Pick.
All right, there you go.
See if you can go back on. Okay, go back a little further. Look at Dalton Schultz's head. He's looking at the linebacker or the defender on the right. That's where Dameon is running. Dalton is looking at the defender when he probably should have been looking at 39, but he's trying to figure out what Dameon Pierce is, right? So Dameon is looking at this defender thinking, my knees. I'm just telling you, he's thinking my knees. I've been on that field. I understand. He's looking at my knees. I understand why he ran behind Dalton Schultz versus taking the green. He's thinking, my niece, he's not sure how well that defender can recoil and get to the spot. He's probably thinking, maybe I can outrun him, maybe I can't. I understand why he did what he did. I understand what you're saying, BT, but I understand why he did what he did. So I can kind of look at both sides of that thing, and you can see the defender, he missed the tackle.
If you look at here, right? So the whole thing is that he actually had the space. The reason why that defender even came over to the left is because Dameon Pierce went left. And the other thing he could have done right here is literally just juke. Go to the left real quick, go to the right, and then go straight. Nothing but green grass. He could have literally just done a little juke and faked him out. Instead,
I get it.
He ran into the contact.
But when you're out there on the field, when you are the man on the field, you never know what it is. Sometimes you can't see all 11 guys. It's very difficult. I can tell you that. Having played receiver at the college ranks, not at the pro ranks, at the college ranks. Sometimes you miss a play. You go back and look at the film, and it's like, oh, I had a lane, and I missed that lane. And sometimes the body just does not react as fast as the brain does from what you see on the field versus what you see on video. It's very, very difficult sometimes.
Oh, listen, I understand.
We want to play Monday. We want to play armchair quarterback, but sometimes it's just difficult to see what those guys don't see on the field. I understand where you're coming from, though.
I understand 100% that he's not seeing what we're seeing in the All-22.
Yeah.
But the problem is that when you look at this is a consistent problem that he's had through all 4 weeks.
So you're saying his vision. So you're saying his vision. Yeah, yes, he's got some vision issues he needs to work out. Probably by watching film. Yeah.
Right. So the thing is, like, I brought this out because, in my opinion, this is a great example of what he's been doing over and over and over again. What I didn't show is many times there's design blocks. Right. Most of the time it's Andrew Beck. Sometimes it's Dalton Schultz. Sometimes it was Kendrick Green. And instead of following his blocks, he decides, I'm gonna cut a different way and run into defenders. Meanwhile, Andrew Beck has opened up a gap for him the size of the Grand Canyon, and he completely dismisses his block. And he's been making these mistakes over and over and over and over again. And I think he's just not used to the scheme, because last year when I was watching the All-22, he didn't make these type of mistakes, but he does it over and over and over again. And the real problem is that you can if it happens one or two times, you can kind of say, okay, he didn't see that. But when it happens literally 8 or 9 times every game, I gotta ask. Like it's literally it's so frustrating, especially when you're watching the All-22 every single game, that Dameon Pierce right now has a vision issue, and in this particular game alone, he cost us 14 points. He cost 14 points, man.
I wouldn't say it's a vision issue. BT, how many carries did he get in college?
10 a game.
Yeah, not very much. He got
wait,
hurt.
Wait. If you're saying he's inexperienced,
hold on, BT, hold on. You got to speak this whole time. Hold on.
All right.
He got hurt last year after the Cowboys, so he has some rust on, and he didn't play much through the preseason. So and also, he's a sophomore. This is the second year. He's still learning. He's only 23. He's still learning the game as it comes. And like you just said, a different scheme. And so he's still learning the different ins and outs. Last year, the scheme was hole hit. This year is a whole different thing of the zone blocking. If a lineman comes this way, the zone has to go this way. You have to go that way. There's different things you have to do with the scheme blocking. So it's the different things that Dameon Pierce has to work on. And the whole thing too was we were worried about Dameon Pierce in the passing game. I'm not worried about him no more. I mean, he's making some great strides in the passing game. But also in that play, you're right. I do believe he should have kept going. But what I do see why he did that way,
right? Because
it looked like 39 had the angle. If he didn't cut out, 39 had an angle. If he would have kept going, 39 could have got him easily.
He has to make a business decision. He has to make a business
He literally
decision,
ran
man.
into 39. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Right. Yeah. That's what I just said. I know where you're getting from, but he was kind of going towards Dalton. He's like, all right, Dalton got this, and I think they both kind of like, oop, whoop, we both fucked up. And like Nate said, the only way to learn, he's gonna go to the film room, and he's gonna say, oh shit, well maybe I should have kept it there and got a couple extra yards. Even though I got tackled, I would have got more yards than I did here. It's just a learning game. Like I said, he's only saying we had a high expectation. I'm one of them. Had a high expectation for Dameon Pierce.
Yeah.
So yes, I get that, but he's still only 22, 23. Second
year. Back coming out of the SEC. You know, he played at Florida, man. I mean, this is a guy who played high-level competition in college. They saw something special in him.
And didn't really get to play. He only had 10 carries a game. I mean, that's why everyone was so high on him, because he didn't have a lot of tread on those tires. So he don't have a lot, you know. But
I'm gonna say this too. If I'm a breakaway back, if I'm a 4-3 running 4-3-2, 4-3-4, whatever I am, I may feel like I can outrun a defense. I can outrun that defender. If I'm not, I'm making a better business decision because I got another play in me in the next play. I want to play the next play. So if I can get to the end zone, I will. But if I see that defender coming and I'm not sure, I'm just going to get what I can get. We got the first down. I'm going to get what I can get. Right. And I'm going to live to make that to play another down. So I fully understand why he did what he did. I see what you're saying, VT, but I fully understand why he did what he did.
Both sides, right?
I think you all this Friday, like, do yourself a favor and watch Modest, because he actually goes more in depth. I only brought this up because it's a one simple clip.
I got it.
But if you look at what he's done overall these past 4 weeks, he's consistently missing his blockers all the time. And when he actually follows his blocks, he actually gets 4 or 5 yards. But because he doesn't, that's why his average is at 3.5 and sometimes less. Like, I mean, he was like 2.2 in the beginning of the season. And it's because he doesn't follow his blockers. And on this side, I got to pull an Adam Sandler and tell Crenshaw, you were smart. I am stupid. I am nothing. You are everything. Because Crenshaw said that Singletary should get more carries. And God damn it, Crenshaw, you were right. Because when I'm looking at Singletary in the All-22, he's following his blockers. He's making the right reads. Well, they're just not giving him the carries.
That just proves my statement.
Because he's a veteran.
Well, not just that. What did Brian Daboll run? Zone blocking. Mm-hmm. So he knows what to do at when he gets the ball. When he sees the lineman shooting the gap, he knows where the zone blocking is going. So he knows what to do, unlike Pierce. Pierce is still learning. Again, like Crenshaw said, he's a vet, but he's also the system. Pierce isn't. He's second year and he doesn't know the scheme blocking.
Well, if you're saying that the good thing we scored on that drive.
Yeah, I mean that is a good thing.
That's the good thing.
But I just have a question for you, Matt. If you're saying that Pierce just isn't there yet, then why wouldn't you put the guy that is there, give him more carries?
Because the only way to learn, right? I mean,
I'm not saying bench him, but why not put Singletary in more?
I don't know.
Confidence?
Confidence, but also, okay, so say we don't know if Singletary's getting all these plays because of his ability or the defense is gassed, because he comes in for a different pace. He comes in the later games. So what happens when we put Singletary instead of Pierce, and he's only averaging 3.4 carries yards a carry? Are you going to want him benched too? I mean,
they're two different style runners, don't you think?
Right. Yeah. Is this something you got now? Say go week 10, week 12, and Pierce is still having a hard time hitting the gap. Then there is some time to worry. And maybe you do bring Singletary on more carries and then try to fix that in the offseason. But right now, you still got to market to inexperience and just the game. There's so many variables to go with the stats right now because he's a young back. It's a new system, and like Nate says, you don't know what that guy's thinking on the ground. Is this
But to your point, man, he is a between the tackle runner. That's what they want him to be.
Mm-hmm.
They want him to be able to run between the tackles. Devin Singletary is a completely different style back, and he,
Right.
as you mentioned, Crenshaw, he runs like a veteran in the open field. Yes, VT, I think Dameon Pierce may have some issues with downfield blockers once he gets into the open field. I love him getting to the second level, though. That's the one thing I do love. Now, when you don't have – let me bring up a back. And I know I'm going to go old school on you guys. O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was a breakaway back. Once he got an open field, good night. See you later.
Sanders.
Yeah, you Barry Sanders. See you later. You're not, and Bo Jackson. Bye. Good night. It's over. Once you get into the open field, Dameon Pierce is not that guy. He can be caught from behind. So you have to be a little concerned with his confidence with on-field blockers down the field. I am telling you, because guys are always concerned about this. Is he going to hit his block? Is he trying to see where I am first before he hits his block? You don't want to hit that block too early because the defender can see. The guy blocking can't. He has to feel the runner behind him. So it's a little different when you're on that side of the ball, when you're down on the ground, man. So I understand why he did what he did, but I also see what you're saying.
Yeah, he reminds me of a modern day Jerome Bettis, right? Where when he hits the gap and he has a room, he's going to get you a good 10 yards. And if he hits the gap and he does get hit, he's going to get you another good 5 yards with a whole bunch of guys on his back.
Hey, Matty, the only thing is you didn't want to hit Jerome. Jerome was 250 pounds of muscle, and then whatever else he had, you didn't want to hit him. Dameon Pierce, a little lighter. I'll take my chances with Dameon Pierce over Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis will run you over.
You see what I'm saying,
Yeah. I got you.
He's a contact here. He loves the contact, which Singletary doesn't. He's more of a finesse.
Shifty. He's very shifty.
He still runs hard. He's still a big back, but he knows how to move. Go ahead, VT. We didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you going to say?
No. All I want to say is, all right, so obviously I didn't take the clips, that for every single clip, but
no, you're fine.
There are plenty of times where Patterson is actually doing a good job of being the lead blocker, and he doesn't follow Patterson. What he does, he actually outruns Patterson. If he had the patience to actually stay behind, he would have actually had more yards. But when you have a blocker, what's the point of beating your blocker? Because you're not going to get extra yards once you go past him. That's a simple concept that he's not able to do in game time. I guarantee you they're talking to him about this in film study. But
only way to get better, right? Is get coached. The only way to get better.
And then the other thing is, I've been shitting on him a lot, so let me give him some props, which is he has gotten better from week 1 to week 4. The reason why he got 80 yards and not 30 is because he is following his blockers more. There were a couple of times where he actually followed back. The problem that I'm having is that if you look at the way other teammates are developing, and shout out to C. Royal, who actually said this a while ago. But if you look at the way other teammates are developing, Henry To'oTo'o is developing nicely. Christian Harris is developing nicely. Obviously, C.J. Stroud, and you're kind of stuck on this one position. And Nate, you're saying that we got to get the run game more, right? Yep. And right now we're a pass-first offense. We're passing nearly 70% of the time. If you look overall, week 1 through week 4. Yeah. Right. That change is significantly different on the Steelers games because we gave them a lot more carries, but he's still averaging 3.5 yards per carry. So we're going to continue to be a pass-first offense until this rushing attack works, and we can't get this rushing attack if the running back can't see the holes that are being open and it's not
3.2 is a lot better than 2.6. I mean, he's getting better. It is better. Like you said, he's getting better each game. He is hitting a whole lot harder. You're right about the blocks, but the only thing to do is be coached. I mean, he's still a young guy. There is a thing called the sophomore wall. A lot of guys kind of, after the rookie year, they take a step back because it's more game. Like Kershaw says, there's always more game film on you. There's a lot more stuff. So will you get fixed? Who knows? But He
Well,
got to put the work in.
other thing you got to consider too, third down conversions. If you run, let's say you run your first 2 plays, you want a short third down conversion, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. That's really where you want to be. That's when you become an efficient football team. When you can, on a consistent basis, you're getting short third down conversions, you can do that through the run game. You don't always have to pass. And like I said, you don't want CJ throwing 40, 50 times a game. That's not good for the shoulder. Just saying. You want to be balanced if you can. Balanced attack, offensive attack is what you need.
Well, we spent a lot of time talking about David Pierce, so let's hurry up and kind of preview the Texans Falcons game, because I know you got early morning to get ready for some fantastic work, Nate. So real quick, what do you think are the keys to win against the Falcons?
Well, first of all, time of possession. Time of possession for the Houston Texans. Keep the Atlanta Falcons offense off the field. They're young quarterback. They have some problems right now. I think he's got 6 touchdowns, 3 picks, and they're not very happy with that. So you want to win time of possession game number 1. You want to see if and we talked about the run game, and I'm going to harp on it again. You want to see if you can establish your run game against the Falcons. Obviously, you want to get players involved. I think you have to get all 4 receivers involved. You want to get Schultz. You want to get Woods. You want to get, obviously Collins, and you have to get Tank Dell going. Tank Dell had a pretty good game last couple of games, and obviously Nico Collins had a really good game last game. So you want to keep that going, and you also want to work on your offensive line. You want to say, okay, my offensive line, they were okay against Pittsburgh. Can you continue that? Defensively, again, keep the pressure on the Atlanta Falcons offense. There's a lot of keys in this game, but I think first and foremost, time of possession. And can you get that offensive? The same type of offense that you had going against the Steelers? Can you do that against the Falcons?
Okay, BT, real quick, what do you think? How can we win this game?
Well, offensively, this is probably going to be the best secondary that we've gone against. They're rated like top 5 in the league at this point. Bates has been doing his job really well. So I think what you have to do here is, CJ has been throwing dimes and he's very, very accurate. So he obviously has to continue to do that. Don't make stupid mistakes in the passing game. And I would like to run against them. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be possible. We went against Pittsburgh, who had the 3rd worst rush defense in the league, and we really only got 80 yards out of them. So the Falcons are basically a mid-level rush defense. They're right around where we are. So I don't know if we'll be able to rely on the run as much as Nate wants. I wish we could. I think that what we have to do is we have to score points right out of the gate. The last 2 times we won the coin toss, we deferred. We said, let's get the ball second. And this time we have to get the ball first if we win the coin toss, because the moment that we can score first and have a 7-0 zip, Arthur Smith will go away from the run real quick, because their biggest threat is Bijan Robinson. And so if you are scoring first, he's going to force Ritter to throw. And by forcing Ritter to throw, he's going to have to go against our secondary. And he has to go against Shaquille Griffin, Steven Nelson, Tavir Thomas, who's back, Jalen Petrie, and we'll have a couple picks. So the point here is force him to throw, and we can win. Offensively, CJ's got to be CJ. Our receivers got to be receivers. They're doing their job. I have no issues there. Offensively, the only issue there is a run game. Defensively, they have to take the ball away. And if you want to win time of possession, the way to do it is takeaways here.
Crenshaw, speak to me, brother.
Like VT say, offense, CJ keep being CJ. Hopefully the run game does come back, since we got hopefully Titus and Tonsil's back. I think my recipe for this game is to keep swarming, and I think this is the Will Anderson breakout game. I know he had a sack, he had a block field goal, but I think this is the game that he's really going to put boys on notice, since he played in that stadium a lot with Alabama. So I think this is the game where he's going to show up and turn out, and on offense, they just got Bijan. They got good receivers. They just don't use the guys. And I don't understand, how does Juno Smith has more, targets than Kyle Pitts. So I don't know what's going on with Arthur Smith with that. He didn't do something about that right there. Don't do it Sunday, but do it the following week,
Right.
Did you hear what Jimmy Ward said about it?
Jimmy. Oh yeah, he said that they have receivers, they just don't use them. It's crazy. Like what's going on over here?
I kind of agree with everybody. I'm more learning towards Nate. I think one more game, one more. He gets to see what he's doing. And BT, you said their rush defense is not that great. So if this is a game for Pierce to kind of have a breakout game, this is going to be it. So I think that's the key. Just get it going, so that way that helps out CJ, because like you said, their secondary does scare me a little bit. Jesse Bates and AJ Terrell are playing out of their mind in the secondary. So you got to kind of switch it up. Defense, Chris, you're right, it's swarm. Where the ball's at, attack. Like you got to be there. You got to attack it. I think with Perryman coming back, I think that's going to help out tremendously. Now you got your Mike back, Henry however you say his name, Henry T. He's going to be able to attack the runner a lot better instead of trying to have to read the offense. So I think that's going to help out. He's made some plays on the Steelers, so hopefully he can contain Bijan. I don't think he's going to be very well, but that's the way to stop him, is to stop the run. So hopefully we come out with the W. But my prediction, we're going to, like I said, ever since we started winning is when I started us predicted to lose. I predicted us to lose last 2 weeks. We won, so I'm predicting us to lose 24-17. Falcons are going to win it.
Ooh.
I'm just Nate. I gotta keep to my roots, all right. I gotta keep going.
I understand. You don't want to be let down. I understand. You don't want the disappointment.
No, not just that. I'm a ritual guy. Like I'm gonna be wearing the same jersey I've had the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep eating the same stuff. Like, no voodoo over here. So
you are going to wash your undergarments, right?
yes, that one thing I do. I do like sleeping. I do like sleeping in the same bed as my wife. So
I kind of figured that, man. There you go. Keep in mind, our young quarterback is not throwing a pick this season.
Yes.
They don't turn the ball over. If they get the run game going, they win time of possession, keep Desmond Ridder and Bijan off the field. I am telling you, man, I feel real good about their chances. And the play calling of Bobby Slork, I feel good about their chances, man, because the defense is going to be the defense. It's kind of like what's my man's name? How can I forget him now? The actor. He says and I can't even think of the movie. The fish has to be the fish and the man has to be the man. So I mean, the Texans have to be the Texans and the defense has to be the defense. And I think that, I think they'll be okay. I really do.
What's your prediction? If you do score prediction, what's your score prediction?
I'm thinking about Denzel. That's what I'm thinking about. I was thinking about, the fish has to be the fish.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he says. I think the defense has to be the defense. Period. I'm going to give you a score. I'm going to say on the road, they won at home 30-6. I'm going to go with 27-14 Texans.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
BT.
We'll go 27-14 Texans.
Score prediction, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, so they're 2-2, we're 2-2. So in that sense, you kind of match just in terms of wins, losses. Obviously, I already said that Bijan is the biggest X factor. He's getting 6 yards per carry, so you got to stop the run. If you get the ball first, score first, and force Ridder to throw the ball, he has a 77.9 passer rating. He's honestly not great at all. 3 TDs, 3 interceptions. So just forcing him to throw, we should be able to get a couple picks. My prediction is that this will be the first game that CJ actually throws his pick because the secondary is that strong.
Ooh.
Having said that, we will still win. I still think that won't change the outcome of the game because I don't think they'll be able to capitalize on that interception. I think at most they'll get a field goal, and we'll end up with 31-17 Texans.
Oh, okay. Kershaw, you can get spicy with it?
No, I'm going to jump right into it. 30-13 Texans.
All right. Love it.
See, everybody expects the Texans to win except
But there's a reason.
Yes,
There's a
I
reason.
got it, man. I got it. I really do. I got it.
Like I said, I'm not jumping there yet. So I got it. I got to keep the same thing going. So
I got you.
Nate, man, it's been an honor coming on. Tell everybody where we can find you, what you got cooking, so that way we can support you.
Sure, I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
First of all, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it, man. This was fun. I got to be honest with you. You have a very, very well organized podcast. I love it, man. And this is really great. You got some great guys too, Crenshaw and Chubby Bear. They call him BT, I guess, Chubby Bear. But Crenshaw, Fifth Ward, Crenshaw. I see you out there, man.
What up? What up?
Hey, Maddie, I love the backdrop, man. I really do. And you guys do a phenomenal job. Thank you for having me on. I'm on every morning between 5 a.m. So that means I get to work very, very early. 5 a.m. and 10, and then you can catch the stream on what's it called? It's called it's not Facebook Live. It's the after show, the Fox 26 after show. You can catch the stream. We're there for 20 minutes, and it's just ruthless chaos. So you can check us there. We just go nuts because we've been on the air for 6 hours, and we just need to let it go. And I host it, so it's a lot of fun. But in the morning, catch me. I'm a sports anchor on Fox 26 in the morning. I'll have a ton of guests as usual. And you can catch me at a restaurant. And by the way, guys, come on over to the restaurant where I am. I'm going to be at Harry's restaurant tomorrow morning. So you can come over there and grab you some breakfast and have a good time, man, and watch us do the show.
Awesome. Oh, Crenshaw. Sadly, I'm in KC. I hate it here, but happy wife, happy life. So next time I'm in Houston, I have to take you up on that. BT, where can we find you at?
You can find me everywhere at Brown Chubby Bear. I'm on Threads, Facebook, and obviously Twitter. I'm on Spaces quite a bit. So, if it's during the day and if I don't have a lot of conference calls, I jump on for 30, 40 minutes. But typically every night I'm on a space hosting or co-hosting or just joining, talking Texans football and talking about the rest of the NFL.
And Crenshaw, what about you, brother?
You can find me at Fifth Ward Crenshaw everywhere. And Nate, real quick, who
Yes, sir?
is the best football player to come out of Rice?
Oh, the best football player?
Yes.
Wow. Man. I tell you what, there've been some really great ones. I'd have to say probably James Casey. One.
That's my boy. I love me some James Casey.
Best tattoo.
Jared Dillard.
Okay.
Dillard. Chase Clement, Tommy. Why am I having a blank on his last name? Played quarterback in the league, was one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Kramer.
Tommy Kramer. Yeah, Tom Kramer. Obviously, Tommy Kramer. And then there's some old school guys that just thank you, Michael. Yeah, Tommy Kramer. There's some old school guys. Man, it's a lot of great players that came out of Rice, and I'm missing. Donald Hollis,
Covington,
who played at Lamar, Christian Covington, a lot of Philip Gaines. You got a lot of guys, man, a lot of guys, and you still have some guys in the league. Blaine, Blake, what's Blaine's last name? I can't think of his name right now. I'm having some. OJ Brigance. Let me not forget about OJ Brigance. He won a couple of Canadian championships. Won a championship with the Baltimore Ravens, linebacker. A lot of great players, man, that come out of Rice. All of them, and they're gonna beat me up because I can't think of all of them right now. But I'm just telling you, some really good ones. ND Kalu. I better not forget about ND Kalu, man. Oh my God, man. ND would kill me. Oh man, Fifth Ward, you almost set me up, man. You set me up for certain death. Oh my God, man. Jeez, ND Kalu, man. Don't forget about ND. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Indeed.
Funny stories. I had a scholarship offer to go play Rice baseball.
Did you?
I turned it down for for Sam Houston State. Which I would have stayed with Rice instead of Sam Houston, but
So you could have played for Wayne Graham.
That was one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why I was leaning towards Rice, but I was just young and dumb.
But you played for his assistant at Sam Houston.
I did. Yes, sir, I did.
That's not bad.
No,
that's not bad.
But still, legend or
Oh, I see some regrets.
Yeah, legend or his assistant.
I see some regrets.
You live and learn, right? Well, guys, you can find me at A1 Day One Texans everywhere. I got a couple articles coming up on the Fanbow Sports Network, so you make sure you check that out. And also check out all the great shows on the Fanbow Sports Network and Texans Fanbow everywhere. Say, hey, Siri, play the greatest Texans podcast, and we'll pop up. So, guys, until next week, we'll talk to you later. Hopefully, we're talking about a win. Have a good night, and see you.
I didn't mention Nate Griffin. Follow me there. I didn't mention Nate Griffin Fox 26. You can follow me there on Twitter too. I'm terrible.
No, you're fine. Thank you. Have a good night.
This is Crenshaw, Briggs, and VT.